warmth of family. Near the end of a 10-year journey, their thoughts surround one loved woman lost, Cindy Gladue. Cindy's mother, Donna McLeod, in the glow of affection from nieces, granddaughters, great-grandchildren, quietly shares the weight of Cindy's absence.
Never dreamed about dead girl. Never. Ever since she passed away. And I've had elders tell me that when this is all over, I'll probably start dreaming about her.
On this night, the jury began deliberating on the fate of the man charged with taking Cindy's life on June 22, 2011. For the past decade, they've been waiting for justice.
They're pretty tough, sitting in court. I just wanted to end.
Prairie Dowie is Cindy's younger cousin.
She just had a zen for life. She always wanted the best for us kids. And growing up, I looked at her as a role model. She always took care of us, loved us.
Cindy, the oldest of four, grew up with her family in Northeast Edmonton. Nicknamed Shandy by her grandmother, she loved cuddling with her daughter, watching cooking shows, making breakfast for her mother. To her family, Cindy was spark, she was joy.
We'd get up and we'd start dancing, and she'd crank the music, and she'd be like, okay, let's get up. And we would do the train, and we'd start doing the locomotion with one another.
She passed that spark to her children, 3 daughters, Cheyenne, Brianna, and Brandy.
Her kids just loved her. I saw the joy of her kids, how they made her so happy.
Her daughters now have children of their own, grandchildren Cindy could never meet.
It was devastating. It was really hard. It was really hard to learn that she died in such a violent way.
The devastation continued for the family when the trial began. The brutality of her death dissected, repeated. In court, constant references she was a sex worker, images of her body, the bloody bathtub.
They were saying some awful things about her, and then they showed some pictures. They showed some pictures on the screen, and they showed that they turned the screen to her family, and I just remember going like that, and I couldn't come back.
The first trial reduced Cindy to a stereotype. The Crown and defense referred to her, time and time again, as the Native Lady. In 2015, the man accused of killing her was acquitted. The decision sparked outrage, protests across major Canadian cities.
We're like, how does this happen? It was such an ugly feeling. I remember the pain that sat there with us. It was so unfair.
The case was appealed all the way to the Supreme Court, which ordered a new manslaughter trial in 2019.
She was objectified and dehumanized, called a specimen.
Cindy has a lot of supporters. We have a lot of people that know that the justice system failed us.
For the family, 10 years of headlines and courtroom arguments reduced and obscured the fullness of Cindy's life, her humanity. The family is now fighting to reclaim.
She should be remembered as a kind and loving, compassionate mother. She had a big spirit, and she was a happy girl, and I think that's what she needed to be remembered as, somebody that was loved.
Early Friday morning, Cindy's family makes that familiar walk back to the courthouse to await the verdict. 9 hours later, bittersweet relief. Bradley Barton, guilty of manslaughter.
Feeling happy. It's all over, and I'm thankful. She was a daughter, she was a mom, a grandmother. Now it's over. Everybody's happy not.
This is only the beginning of the end for the family, but maybe now, 10 years later, Donna can dream of Cindy again. Jorge Barrera, CBC News, Edmonton.